Hello, everyone. This is the Coldplay business case, group 16. My name is Chris.
My name is Sarah.
My name is Rui.
My name is Khaleef.
My name is Joe.
My name is Kamyle.
So for the members of Coldplay, we have Chris Martin, who is the lead singer, Johnny Buckland, who's the guitarist, Guy Behrman, who's the bassist, Will Champion, who's the drummer, and Phil Harvey, who's the creative director.
A little bit of an overview and background of Coldplay. They started in 1996 as a British rock band. Their main styles are alternate rock, or alternative rock, and pop. Their first big song was Yellow in 2000, which has been played on Spotify over 1 billion times. They've won multiple Grammy Awards for their songs, and in their journey, they've released 9 different albums throughout their lifetime. They're managed by Dave Holmes Management, who Dave Holmes was the manager in 2004, and he kind of made his own company. That's also managers of My Chemical Romance. Some inspirational song lyrics. When you listen to Coldplay, a lot of their songs relate to people in many different ways. For instance, Coloratura, which was part of their last album, one of the final lyrics was "Together, that's how we'll make it through." And I feel like a lot of people kind of related to that with like COVID, because that's when it was released. And, you know, everything that they put out is trying to relate to somebody in some sort of way.
Getting into content marketing, Coldplay's content promotion through concert involvement is one of its most effective sites of marketing outreach. According to the band's site, the Music of Spirits World Tour features slogans such as inclusivity and sustainability. The inclusivity slogan highlights the tour steps they taken to accommodate fans who may have sensory issues. Sustainability, on the other hand, involves commitment done by both the band and the tour staff for positive environments. On the left, you'll see a wristband that's highlighted, which is used during shows that the band gave out for those who can't really that have sensory issues. It either vibrates or flashes various colors.
To continue with the content, Coldplay had a partnership with companies such as Spotify to help the band promote its material. And as well as their fans were able to analyze phrases cryptically posted on scattered billboards from songs featured on their next tour project through the Spotify scavenger hunt competition. And on the right is a picture or a billboard of one of their songs, and below it is Spotify.
PR marketing. This year, Coldplay appeared on NBC's Today Show to discuss their efforts to protect the environment. They underlined their objective of sponsoring and raising awareness for breakthrough technologies that minimize carbon emissions. The Today Show had a total audience of 3.2 million people. NPR Radio is a popular network with 2.6 million listeners on average. Coldplay was recently featured on the May 22nd program. This conversation also focused on the band's attempts to make an ecological, sustainable tour as possible. This PR marketing approach is quite effective. Interviews are one way to connect with your target audience, particularly in the light of the band's recent goals. By voicing these favorable sentiments in a known place, Coldplay may increase its audience while continuing to be relevant.
And the quality of Coldplay. In 2000, Coldplay released their first studio album, Parachutes. And the Parachutes won the 44th Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album. In 2002, the second studio album, A Rush of Blood to the Head, was released. And this album has sold more than 50 million copies worldwide. In 2003, the band won the Best Rock Band Award at the 45th Grammy Awards for the song In My Place. And the second studio album won the Best Alternative Music Album Award. Next slide is continued content. In 2004, Coldplay's Single Clocks won the 46th Grammy Award for production over the year. And in 2005, the third studio album, X and Y, was released. And this album became the world's best-selling album with annual sales of 8.3 million copies. In 2008, the fourth studio album, Viva la Vida, Ordaz, and All His Friends were released. Sold 6.6 million copies and became the global album annual sales champion. And the single Viva la Vida in the album won the US Billboard Hot 100 singles chart. In 2009, the Coldplay won 3 awards at the 51st Grammy Awards. And here's the timeline of basic Coldplay correlations or relevance in 2000. So in 2000, their Coldplay's debut album was released, which is Parachutes, and has sold 75,000 copies in its first week and debuting at #1 in the UK. And in 2008, the most hit song of Coldplay, Viva la Vida, has been released. In 2015, A Head Full of Dreams tour is the third highest grossing tour of all time upon conclusion. And even now, the Coldplay are still famous and is the most successful band of the 21st century and one of the best-selling music acts of all time. So this is about the percentage of Coldplay listeners, and an astonishing 84% who have heard of Coldplay, and close to 50% of those who like Coldplay, and there's only 12% who did not like Coldplay. And these are some of the reasons why they can stay in the public eye and not be forgotten. So the first one, I would say, they are innovative. And Coldplay is a band that first gained notoriety for its innovative and orthodox approach to rock music. Chris Martin's fragile falsetto and prodigious melodic capability. And each Coldplay album has seen listeners hurtling down a DNA helix of wistful and emotive battery and timeless tunes with lighteners a love appeal. And the second reason is that they change with time. Coldplay has always been open to modifying their music to include dance pop, acoustic drumming folk, and the broad category of global music. They don't fit the mold of most alt rock bands because of this, which may be why they've listened far into the streaming area. And the third reason is connotation, and they have coupled Chris Martin's dramatic composition with a musically open posture that smuggles a true human ideology into stadiums all over the world. From the bassett bond folk of Parachutes to the brilliant pop shots of Viva la Vida, Ordaz, and All His Friends, we're preaching a worldwide wise and contemplative attitude that has enabled him to add an art rock inspired dichotomy to the group's mainstream goals. And Chris Martin's compositions also relate to everyday issues with unmistakable relatability.
So Coldplay's revenue throughout their career, they have a gross revenue of $1.5 million. $115.5 million. And throughout their career, they've been able to keep a steady linear progression in their revenue with their new album sales. And they also have a very dedicated fan base who's been able to grow with them and also keep those record sales up. And then in 2002, they went on their first tour, Russia Blood to the Head, that had a gross revenue of $6.2 million. And then in 2005, they went on another tour called Twisted Logic, and that had 24.1 million revenue. And then for their Viva la Vida tour, that had $119.28 million. And in 2011, they went on their Milo X Lotto tour, and that had $192.5 million. And 2014 was their Ghost Stories tour, which had $192 million. And then 2017, their highest grossing tour, called A Head Full of Dreams, had 523 had gross revenue. And then their record sales. In 2000, their debut album Parachutes had $11 million in record sales. And then in August of 2000, the record sales from their second album, A Rush of Blood to the Head, had 19.5 million. And in 2003, it was a combined sales from their Coldplay Live 2003 and then their live album, which was only $2 million. And then 2005, their third album, X and Y, totaled 16.9 million. And then in 2008, the sales for their fourth album, Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends, had $13 million. And then in 2012, it was record sales from a combination of the compilation album 4 CD catalog set and the live album Coldplay Live 2012, which was only 1 million. And record sales from 2011 to 2019. In 2011, their record sales for their fifth album, Milo X Lotto, had 10.4 million. And then in 2014, record sales from their sixth album, Ghost Stories, and the live version had $4.9 million. And in 2015, record sales from their seventh album, A Head Full of Dreams, had sales of $7.8 million. And in 2019, it was a slow year, and they only got $768,000 off of their Coldplay Live 2012.
So Coldplay's tour right now is Music of the Fears album. They're currently going, I believe it's Argentina, and a lot of those type of countries in that area. Many concerts are sold out or have very limited tickets for this tour. A lot of people internationally outside of the US are mostly going to these, which kind of shows their international presence, not just in the United States. They plan to release 3 new albums for the next coming years, and they're going to continue to tour and do concerts when they come out with their new albums. And this is just a video of their
hands
new
up shaking just to let you know
tour.
now you
It was a promo of their new tour.
Struggling to pay for medications or the mortgage? Mehmet Oz has no.
Thank you, and that's our presentation.